Yes. Yes. Is this thing on? I'm like moving too fast for my camera. There we go. Good morning, or good afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Oh, I'm so low. I'll go up here. Happy Saturday. Yay, Tegan. Good morning. Copy. I see you, Amber. Let's see if I can help her. Oh, I don't know. I guess that's something different. I don't know. I just don't know. So I know this was super last minute, but my wonderful partner ended up going to work today. So I was like, well, if you're going to work today, then what if I just taught a class? So if you're here, I'm so glad that you're here. Because I would much rather do a live class than a recording because it feels just that much more personal. And I like the personal feeling. Hi, Kelsey. So even if it's like a small or like not very well attended, I don't really care. It's there and we got to move together. So we still got a few minutes before class. I'm going to toss the playlist in the chat right here. Bam, bam. Hi, Franny. How are you? So I have like a rough idea of what I want to do today. Yes, Mimi. From across the pond. I love you. I wanted this to just be like a really nice, like what I would want to do in the morning. So nothing like crazy. Definitely things that will wake me up and stretch me. So there will be like, I want to do some core activation stuff. I want to do some work with blocks, strap, maybe a blanket. So if you have those props, I would snatch them up. If you don't have them, you'll be fine. Oh, nice. Yes. Rainy day. That's like probably my favorite thing is like rainy day movement, stretching, yoga stuff. Like, ugh. If I could just do that all the time, I would. And it is pretty rainy where I'm at, but it's that different kind of like tropical rain. Where it just spits on you. And can everybody hear me okay? I'm guessing. But what I wanted to mention, yes, Jane. Early morning Jane, you woke up at 7:30. If there's something that you wanted to work through, I was planning on doing like quad openers and from body openers too. But if there's something that you desire, then please put it in the chat or comment under the post, and I'll try to kind of squeeze it in. And if you just want to go on a ride, then beep, beep, toot, toot. Wrecked. Yeah, I don't know. I named the playlist Wrecked Flow for what reason? I don't know. Is there a song called Wrecked on there? No. Oh, there was. And then I took it off because I felt like it was maybe a little too intense. And I was like, this would be good for bar. Maybe not a chill flow in the morning. But some of you are total sickos and you're into that, which is why I love you so much. Ankles, cool. Hi, Ella. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uncrunchify your spine. I'm going to uncrunchify your spine and spice up your life if you're okay with that. But we'll definitely do ankles. I really like that. We'll play through all the different range of motion in your ankle. And some of the stuff I wanted to do with the strap would actually be really cool with that. So let's actually get going. Let's do it. I started the playlist. If you're with me, start it. Start it. Do you like my hawk braid? I like it too. I like it too. Feels nice. All right. So I'm going to have the strap off to the side, like easy grabbable. And let's start off in a 3D capital T. So one block is going to go under your head and the other block is going to go under your spinal column. Now, the spot where it feels best is going to really depend on your anatomy and your spinal mobility and a lot of things. So I'm going to go over all the different ways to arrange it. If you already have a 3D capital T setup that you know and you like, then let's go for it. So for my friends that want a little more thoracic support, this block that's under your spine can go wide. So like kind of like where your bra line would be if you are a bra wearer or if you are a bra unclipper. And that can be on its lowest level or like high or like medium-ish. And the other one will go underneath your head. So it might take you a hot second to find your perfect combination. I really like this pretty high archy situation, but for some people that's not comfortable. So find what works for you. Okay, actually I'm not feeling that today. I want it a little lower. Oh yeah. And it should just feel really good. You should feel comfortable opening up your arms. It should broaden across your chest. And I want your legs to intuitively find a position that feels right for you. So you can bring soles of the feet together, knees wide, or your Baddha Konasana if you want to speak the yoga terminology. Sometimes I'm in the mood for kind of opening up my sacrum or my low back. And I like to do that by bringing my knees together, but stepping my feet wide. And once you find your perfect little combination there, we're just going to work on our breath. So typically, our breath is a really wonderful indicator of our stress levels. Oh, awesome. There's 12 people in here. Cool. And so when we're taking really shallow breaths, it's like a stress response. It's like it means that we keep ourselves protected. Oh, hi, Ashley. Welcome. We just got started. We're laying on our backs in a heart opener. Plus, when we're in these like super stressful kind of positions, we tend to protect ourselves by crunching down, right? It's kind of a natural animal instinct. And so when we're opening up the chest, we're broadening across, we're finding that breath, we're doing some things that are very counterintuitive. And so if you feel a little unsafe or a little strange, know that you can adjust your shape or perhaps assess what's going on in the body and try to broaden the breath, trust yourself a little bit, and trust that you're in a safe space. So we're going to do 3 more cycles of breath here, just laying down on our backs. Yeah, and if you don't have blocks, I mean, you can just do this laying down. Wow, I did not wear deodorant today. Breathing in the smell of my armpits. Now, let's do some arm circles here, folks. I want you to reach both of your arms up towards the sky, like straight above your heart, like you're holding a big beach ball. Oof. And you're going to take your arms up above your head, and then you're going to internally rotate the arms. I know it feels weird because the arms are above your head, so it almost feels like external rotation, but this is internal rotation with bilateral shoulder flexion. Wow, I'm surprised I got that right in the morning. And then you're going to bend your elbows, drag the arms all the way down by your side. Ooh, and you're going to repeat that. So lift, I think like thumbs back, thumbs back, thumbs back. And then thumbs point in towards my midline, and you drag it all the way down. So I like to call these snow angels. If you've taken my class before, you know it. And we're going to do 2 more, and then we're going to hold in our stickiest, meanest spot. Typically, it's with your shoulders above your head and somewhere out here. This is where our limitation is. And I want you to imagine like your shoulder blades were gripping the block underneath you so that you get a little bit of muscle activation, because muscle activation with the stretch will help keep you safe so you don't over-rotate the shoulders. You're there for 3. Last 2. Nice, and 1. Relax the shoulders all the way down by your side. And super sloppy, let's roll off of our blocks, literally any direction that you want. And we'll push ourselves up to side saddle. Now let's stick these blocks to the top of your mat. I'm going to put mine up on their like highest levels, kind of shoulder width distance. And we're going to grab up your strap here. Now let's come into a seated position. And we're going to get a little more deeper into your shoulders. So I want you to grab the middle of your strap, open it up wider than shoulder width, and lift the strap above your head. We're going to floss our shoulders. So remember that part that you were like, I can't go any further. Maybe you broaden out a little bit more and floss all the way back. I'm going to grab up this metal piece so I don't make too much noise. And take it back forwards. Up, back. What's up, pecs? Holy shit. Yes. Last 2. And let's again find your sticky spot. And you'll probably notice as you find your sticky spot that your ribs are all poking out. So let's pull the floating ribs in and then try to really engage through the arms. See if that changes the stretch, intensifies it, de-intensifies it. And then we'll take it straight back forward in front of you. Nice. Now let's place the feet onto your mat. And let's use our cores to roll down nice and slow. Curl the tailbone underneath you. It's okay if you fall back. Woo! Left sole of the foot onto the ground. Let's loop up our right foot. Bam. Yeah. Now, even if you're super flexible and you're like, Tracy, I want to split. Like, let's wait. Let's hold our horses a little bit. I want you to stack your ankle right above your hip socket here and find flexion into your foot. So the toes want to pull towards your face here. So this is called dorsiflexion, your point being your plantar flexion. So we're going to work our dorsiflexion right here. And I want you to try to create a long pelvis. Now, my friends that have scoliosis, lordosis, hyperlordosis, this will be a little bit of a challenge. So I just want you to try to seek whatever your neutral position is. And if you know you've got more space from there, then your left foot can creep away from you. any amount. You don't have to go, I was going to say 6 to midnight, but I don't know if that's the right terminology. You can find the gradient of the stretch, is what I'm trying to say. I feel like that's just a reference for boners, but I want to talk about it with legs too. Okay, now once you're in this position, again, if you need even more, drawing the leg even closer towards the face. Okay, now once you find that maximum, I want you to do a demi-plie, micro bend into the knee, slight external rotation in the hip socket, and then press the leg all the way straight. Demi-plie and elongate. Demi, elongate. Last 3, 2. Good, last 1. Press all the way straight, and let's pass the strap into our left hand. Now, without your right butt cheek floating off the ground, take this right leg across the body and sickle the toes down. So if you're a dancer, you're gonna have to let go of your training really quick and make the ugliest feet you can. So it's like rolling your ankle. Hopefully you feel this along the outside of your calf. Maybe you feel this along your IT band, the outside of your hip area. And I, again, want you to make sure that you're not twisting because that's not what we're going for. Last 3. Yo, ankles. 2. And 1. Take the sickle out of your foot, bring it back to center. Transfer into your right hand, bend into your left knee, and then let's open out to your right and your left. Okay, we're gonna bring back the demi and the extension. This time when you bend your right knee, keep the right foot flexed, and then extend and point. Yeah, bend, extend and point. Dorsey, plantar, yeah. And I hope that saying anatomical terms doesn't confuse you. I just think it's really cool to learn them and to, know some cool facts about your body. Now, maybe you feel this in your groin. Some people start to feel it in their hamstring and in the connective tissue into the backs of your knees. So know that those are all very normal places to feel this. All right, now the next time you have your extension and your point, let's use your core, bring everything back towards center. Open up your strap, flex the foot, and let's switch. Step your left foot in, take your right foot out. And we're back to the tap. So we started ankle bone above your hip socket. Wow, this side is so much tighter. So we're trying to pull these toenails towards our face. And then from there, you can decide for yourself if you need to go further. But let your indicator be, can I keep my spine straight? And by straight, I mean trying to maintain a lumbar curve. So maybe those toesies come a little closer. Fuck. Whew. Yeah, it's always a little rough in the morning. But if you're on the other side of the planet, it's nighttime and maybe you've been doing shit all day. All right, now let's transfer these straps into your right hand. We're gonna take the leg across the body. Ooh. We're gonna try to keep this left hip on the ground and we're gonna sickle our toes. So it's like going from flexed, but then pointing the toes down to the ground to your right hand side. Ooh. Ooh, Ella, you were like ankles, baby. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. Oh, how's your breathing? How's your life? Is it on fire? Cool. All right, let's take everything back to center. Take the sickle out of your foot, bend into the right knee, and then let's open up the hip, knee to the right, leg to the left. Oh, I forgot all the demis. It's okay, we'll add it back in. It's no big deal. It's no big deal, no stress on a Saturday. Okay, let's first start here. So flexed foot, micro bend, and then extend and find your point. Bend, flex, elongate, and point. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep that point. Use the core, i.e. your inner thighs. And once we get it back to center, let's cover our tracks here a little bit. Micro bend and extend, all with a flexed foot. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Now let's take the strap off your foot maybe you want to push it to the front of your mat just in case you need it for something later. And let's take both of our legs up to the sky. So we're going to do this weird move that's a Kundalini thing, and Kundalini does really strange stuff, but I like how this one feels. So I want you to just let your heels hit your butt, but alternate. So right, left, super floppy feet. I want you to literally kick yourself in your butt and hamstrings. Get some blood flow back into your feet. I just like doing it. It's fun. Last 10 seconds. Just keep kicking. Just keep kicking. Kicking. For 3, 2, and 1. Let the legs relax. Ooh, I'm feeling some tingly excitement. And let's be some dead bugs. So reach all 4 of your limbs up to the sky. Gather your knees in towards your chest. Contract, and let's rock and roll. So you're rolling from your shoulders to your hips. And if you're trying to do that with a flat spine, you're going to have a hard time. So make sure that you are contracting. But if this is a no-go for you, again, for spinal issues, know that you can roll off to one side and push yourself up. So let's bring ourselves up and move into tabletop position. All 4s, hands and knees. Take a little peek at your paws here, and let's do some finger flicks to get some stretches there. I want you to grab your left pinky finger, lift it, and let it snap back onto the ground. And keep going across all your digits. Ooh, that index is always a bitch. Let's go one more time. And let's spread out those nice little stretched hands and work through our cat-cows. So start by spiraling your elbows forward, reach the heart forward, and then do the opposite of that. Contract, pull the tailbone underneath, work chin to chest. I'm not going to do mine very exaggerated because I have a microphone on and I don't want to suffocate the microphone with my chin. So you go for it. I'm doing a little less head movement. And if there's other pathways that you feel like are intuitively right, like sometimes I just want to wag my tail side to side, do those things. You've got 10 more seconds. We'll meet back in neutral spinal position. 3, 2, and 1. Now center your left hand, reach your right arm up to the sky. And we're going to thread needles. Right arm goes underneath you. Try to lower your shoulder and your ear all the way down to the ground. And imagine like you're a little turtle popping out of your shell. Get long through the neck, then relax it down. Now notice if your hips are bumped off to the left. It's not your fault. It's very intuitive to want to do that. So let's do something counterintuitive and try to bring the hips back to neutral. Your left hand can walk towards the front of your space here. You can also half bind, just something a little bit different. Yes. Now, left hand is going to come back onto the ground. Let's push, open up into a modified side plank. So I'm going to spin on my left knee and extend my right leg to the back of my space. It can be on the ground, it can be up, but I'm just going to keep mine on the ground because I'm not trying to do anything crazy with my legs just yet. And let's circle out this right arm. I know that your arms have been doing some nice open circles, so let's continue that pattern. Last 3, 2, and 1. Let's circle you all the way back down to your mat and adjust. Right hand to center, left arm reaches up, and then thread your needle other side. Left shoulder goes underneath you. Shoulder, ear, everything comes down to the ground. And whatever you did on the other side, try to mimic that work here. Whether that's reaching the right arm forwards, trying to bump the hips back to center. Binding. Ooh, so you get some nice internal rotation. We'll spend a couple more seconds here. And let's bring ourselves up. We're going to move into our modified side plank. So spinning on the right knee, moving gently there, especially if you got some janky knees. Left arm reaches up to the sky, and let's do our circles. Try to get them into both directions. Yeah. And take yourself all the way back down. Yes. All right. Now let's lower our forearms down to the ground and make fists. And I want you to turn the arms towards each other and fist bump yourself. So they'll look just like this, but on the ground. Now I want you to keep the tops of your hands onto the ground, but then lift up your elbows. So you're going to get a stretch on the tops of your forearms. Yeah. If it feels like a lot of weight there for you, you can always walk your knees a little bit forward so it kind of modifies how much weight goes on there. And if you need to give yourself a little break and then jump back into it, it's our last 5 seconds. Yes. Good. Forearms come back down to the ground. Let's get set up for a forearm plank. Now you can always start this with your knees onto the ground, okay? I'm super into it. Think about rolling the forearm flesh to the inside of your space here. And even if your knee's on the ground, we still want to have the same type of pelvic action here. Is this what you needed? Just some hip action? Okay. So I want you to think posterior tilt, so long tailbones, and activation across your shoulders. A lot of people try to get a little bit like deactivated here because they're thinking about the lower half. So think about all these things combined. Your pecs should be working. Everything should be working. Last 5, 4. Your hips are going to come down to the ground in 3, 2, and 1. Hips come down to the ground. If your low back immediately protests, walk your elbows further away. We're in our Sphinx pose. Yes. All right. Now let's do lazy shoulders. And then let your chin fall down. Maybe you get a stretch along the back of your neck, all the way up into this like cervical suboccipital area. And if you feel like getting a little more into the neck, you can take it side to side. All right, now let's build our posture back up. Press into the elbows, lift yourself up. And if you need even more, you can press into your hands and lift. It's very, very crushy on the genitals, so proceed with caution. Now let's duck our elbows out, bulldog the arms, bring yourself all the way down. And let's slide our hands right by our side body here. We're going to activate with a few rounds of Cobra. Legs can be together or hip width distance apart. Try to use the muscles of your back to lift up any amount. Try to avoid baby neck. Think long through the back of the neck. And then lower yourself back down. Reset. Walk the hands back a little bit further. Peel, 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 peel up. Ooh. Maybe like 30% pressure into the hands. Back down. Last little scoot of the hands. This time we're going to try to take it into our up dog. So start with the muscles of the back. Start to slowly add pressure into the hands. Keep the intensity in the back. Press through the arms straight. And exhale, let's take it back into our first downward facing dog. Roll over the toes and get the big toe ball mounds onto the ground. Yeah. So let's dispel some bullshit. Hey, whoever told you that your heels have to be on the ground to be doing down dog, fuck them. Your heels don't have to be on the ground. Hi, Emma. I'm so glad you're here. My sinuses are draining. Yeah, so if you need to micro bend your knees for comfort, that's the most important thing. Hamstrings can be super tightly wound, and I'd much rather you have a nice long spine and over time elongate the legs as opposed to trying to force your legs straight. Yeah, now in that downward facing dog, feel free to pedal your legs out, waggle your hips, shake out your head no. Take some deep breaths, take some deep exhales, get everything out that you need to get out. And then settle into some stillness. Even though you're micro bending your knees, also think about pulling the floating ribs in. Good. Dusty's sending me text messages. You and Zayas during class. All right, now pretend I'm in down dog. You're gonna lift your heels, bend your knees, look to the top of your mat, and then take a big step to the top. Cool. Oh my God, you put your blocks there like you're some kind of future person. God, words are very hard for me in the morning. All right, so your left foot is gonna stay exactly where it's at, but I want you to cross this right leg behind you. My right pinky toe is kind of flirting with the outer edge of my left foot. Keep the heels on the ground. This is when I'm going to be a stickler about it. Bend your left knee, make your right leg straight and your hip super sassy, like hip out, trying to get somebody's attention, kind of sassy. Walk your blocks over to the left-hand side of your life and let that outer hip talk to you. It's going to talk to you a little bit. For 3. Yeah. And 2. And 1. Let's take it all the way back to center. Ooh, ooh. Now I want you to re-elongate through the legs. Extend this right leg behind you. Point into the toe. And we're going to micro bend the left knee a little bit. And then re-extend. Just like we were doing earlier with those stretches. I'm not looking for like 12 and 6 o'clock back legs. Luckily, I have this camera so I can like correct myself a little bit there. Last 3. Oof. 2. Oof. And last 1. Lower your right leg down to the ground and let's do the other side. Left leg crosses behind. Right knee bends. Super sassy left hip. You're trying to get somebody's attention over there. And walk your bricks over to the right. Nice. Now let's walk it all back to center. Zing. My right leg is back long again. Immediately, let's take this left leg behind you. I've got pointed toes. I'm trying to have some square hips. But I know like some adults have hip dysplasia. Not just dogs. Humans can get it too. So if having square hips messes you up, I want you to do what feels right. Bend and extend. Wow. Yeah, that's how my ankle sounds. Sometimes my ankles and my knees sound like opening up a 15-year-old pickle jar, okay? Last 3, 2, and 1. Let's lower this left foot back down and forward fold as much as feels comfortable. With the big toes together, if you're like, nah, thanks, dog, next time, feet can be hip width distance apart. Now, if you want to try for a more Ashtanga style forward fold, here's what I'm going to offer to you. Wherever you are, I want you to go as deep as you can, and then curl the chin towards the chest and try to look up at where your belly button is. So it's a much more contracted spine. Even when I'm here, something that really changes the sensation, my feet stay in one place, but I try to peel my heels apart. So it's like I'm trying to spread my butt cheeks, but with my legs on the ground. Oh, God. I can't help it, guys. But I think that's why you're here. All right, now let's make a halfway lift. So you're going to undo all that tension and pressure. And forward fold. All right, let's rise all the way up to standing. Big sweep. And with your exhale, forward fold all the way back down. We're going to do a couple rounds of standing sun A's, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. All the way back up to standing. Whoa. And exhale, forward fold. Good, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Last time through, inhale, rise. And exhale, forward fold. Good, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. This time, let's plant your hands to the ground, step back, high plank position. You can just pop on back to down dog, or if you're like, Trace, I kind of want to do one of those chaturanga thingies, you can glide forward, bend the elbows, up dog, get your bigger back bends, and exhale, downward facing dog. Cool. All right, let's step your right foot forward and then stack your shoulders all the way above your hips. Now, if your balance is already giving you issues here, walk the feet out wider so you're like on train tracks instead of a tightrope. In general, I like to be train tracks. It's just more stable. Okay, we're just gonna work with your pelvis. Pelvis is gonna be fun here. So I want you to tilt your tailbone back, exaggerate, and tuck. Back, tuck. This is all part of the quad opening, yeah? So when we're working with that posterior tilt, that's how we access this entire front line of the body. We're gonna try to do probably my least favorite quad opener with a wall. You might not like it, but that's okay, because sometimes life is about doing a lot of things you don't like, right? Last 3. Good, 2. And 1. Let's press you all the way straight through your legs. Listen, rebend into the front knee and drag the toes until you've got basically no more space to drag. We're going to stretch out the top of your foot here. Oof. If you want even more, you can actually back bend a little bit here. I like to support my spine when I do this. Nice. Bring yourself all the way up to standing. Bend into your standing leg. Take a deeper step back and pivot all of your toes towards this edge of your mat. Whatever edge that is. Maybe you got turned around. It's okay. Where we're going, we don't need maps. Now let's hinge from your hips all the way into your wide fold. If you're like, hey, Trace, those blocks were like so cool earlier. I kind of want to take them with me. Do the thing. Now, something that feels pretty good for my ankles here is being more pigeon-toed. Sometimes getting wider feels really good. And because our bodies are naturally like very asymmetrical, I want you to notice if you've got one higher hip, one lower hip, because I used to have that until I did a couple years of corrective exercise for it. Okay. So wherever you're at, we're going to actually turn towards the back of your space. So you'll pivot, 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 turn. And we'll come all the way up to standing from here. I know this is going to be a tough body mechanic to work through, but it's really good strengthening for the legs. Woo! And we're going to do tree position. So your tree position can start with your foot on the ground just like this. Then it can travel up to your calf. Whoa. It can travel above your knee into your inner thigh. Whoa. Or if you're looking to prep for a really big outer ankle stretch we're going to do earlier or later, then you'll go for your half lotus tree. So outer edge of the foot will go into the hip crease here. You can hold on to that toe, point the knee down. This also feels kind of interesting for my IT band. Hands at heart center or wherever they want to go. So whatever your variation is, let's do that. Sometimes I get here and I want to fold, get my heel into my left ovary. Last 2 breaths. If you folded with me, let's bring you all the way back up. Ooh. And then we'll step back into our high crescent and work on to the other side. So I know we stepped through last time, but rules were meant to be broken. Now let's get set up for our pelvic tilts. Untuck and tuck. In the great words of Miss Lottie Burke, the originator of bar, if you can tuck, you can fuck. She said that. And it's true, right? All right, last 3, 2, last 1. Now lengthen through the legs, bend just your front knee to get you ready, drag along the toenails until you're all the way up to standing and you still got some foot behind you. Any little amount of back bend invited. I try to just really think strong right leg the whole time I'm doing this bad boy. Great. Now let's take ourselves back forward. Good body mechanics. Bend. Big step back. Open up. Okay. Listen up, gang. Ankle strengthening is as much a part of anything here. So let's do some of that work. We're here basically in our second position. I've got tailbone underneath me. And let's bend into our knees, into our plie. Now I want you to keep the weight in this left foot. No leaning, but just come on to releve with this right leg. Notice funny ankle positioning. We'll stay right here and we're gonna go up and down. Up and down. Yeah, I'm trying to get myself in the mindset for a bar class on Friday. Bar class. Bar without the bar. I've been teaching bar with no bar for 1.5 years now. 3, 2, and 1. Switch. This is my sad ankle. The sad ankle that doesn't have a point like the other one. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch, 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 switch. 8, 7, 6, 5. You're almost there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Can you get both heels up? Doesn't have to be your highest. You can just have some little kitten heels on, not your stilettos. Let's go deeper. Hold that for 3, 2, and 1. Heels down, stand tall, flip me off, and then pivot and forward fold. Now, if your blocks ran away from you, again, you can bring them with you here. And any little movements or extra pieces you need, invited. Okie dokie. Let's bring you back to the OG front of your mat. Oh my gosh. We'll step your left foot forward. Wow, I need to do that second position work more often. And we're going to keep going through that mobility work by going down into our nice deep yoga squat. Elbows pushing into your inner thighs, nice and open. Usually a lot of people feel more comfortable here. There's space for your front body, yeah? So we're going to work through a couple things where if you've got some boobies or if you've got some tummy, it might not be accessible. And if that's you, then I want you to do this shape again, okay? You can always be higher, right? All right, now let's walk the feet to parallel. So we're not turned out, parallel. Try to get them a little bit closer. Maybe now your knees are giving you a little bit of cleavage. Good, now lift up, walk the legs even closer. Same thing, this is where we really are getting into some scary territory. Again, lift up. Maybe, all the way together. And again, reminder, if you've got some stuff in front of you, move the legs back to wide. Last 3. Last 2. And 1. Lift the hips, everybody. And we'll all work into a parallel position and we'll fold. Now, quick little fun thing. If you were somebody that was able to get the feet to parallel or even together, and you were able to hold your balance, a fun little exercise that you can do maybe today or on your own time. You bend, lean forward, knee tap, and back. So that can be a fun little, fun is like keyword for not fun. All right. You catch my drift. That's what we were going for. Okay, now let's bring ourselves all the way back up to standing. So big toes together, rise all the way up. And we're going to work our tree position on the other side. So heel lift, external rotation open. Again, sole of the foot, ankle, calf, inner thigh, foot. Or if you tried it on the other side, working that half lotus version. So outer edge of the foot goes into the hip crease. You can hold with the hand or no hands. It's just kind of stuck in there, yeah? Good, stay with me. Last couple of seconds. And then everything from here on out's on the ground. You got this. Last 3, Good. 2 and 1. Let's release that foot. Nice. If you were folded, coming all the way back up. And we'll work ourselves down into our last downward facing dog. All right. Now let's do half pigeon. Right leg comes forward. And I want you to scoot back into place. If you already know half pidge ain't your thing, then I'm going to offer up deer pose. You're in a double stag here. And you turn to the front and lean over this right leg. This is okay. This is good. If you're in pigeon, but you feel like your butt is floating up into the stratosphere, then you can always block support yourself. Yeah. Pillow support yourself. Wherever you need to be. And we've got 5 breaths here. And I really want you to try to come back to those full capacity lung breaths. All right. Now, if you're down in this folded position, I want you to walk yourself back up. If you're in that like deer pose, I want us to all go there together. So we're in this like double stag thing. Now I want you to lean a little bit to the right. Place your right hand onto the ground, fingertips, maybe forearms are actually the thing that's the most helpful. Keeping the elbow up is going to make this a little bit harder. I want you to think about lifting from your knee, working this attitude position. We're going to pull the knee forward and push it back. If you feel like going no hands, and that's your prerogative, yeah? Last 5. I know it's butt cramp city. 3, 2, and 1. Keep it behind you. Try to lift that knee 5 times. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Close the knees together. Lean back and swing yourself forward. Lengthen the left leg in front of you. Sole the foot to the inner thigh. Now I'm going to offer multiple levels here for this guy, okay? So if you're more advanced and looking for those crazy ankle stretches, stay tuned. So this is your Janu Shirshasana or your half butterfly. This can be cool, right? You're here, you're happy. If you are working that half lotus, bring it back. Outer edge of the foot into the hip crease. And forward you go. See my little toes peeking out the side? If you're like, Tracy, I want you to tear my shit up today, not literally, we don't want to tear anything, okay? Then this is a very advanced Ashtanga position, and I want you to do this carefully. You maintain the foot into the hip crease, bend into the left knee. A lot of flexion, a lot of flexion. Take the whole body to the inside of the thigh. Wrap, full bind, and place your forehead down onto the ground. So it's like the maximum sickle foot going on there into this position, okay? This is a tough one. Wherever you are, we got 3 more breaths. All right, wherever you are, let's bring you all the way back. Woo, what a ride. Especially if you did this more advanced shape with me. Take the leg forward, shake that out a little bit. Wow. Holy moly. And here's how I want us to get to the other side. If you don't have the space, it's okay. We're going to extend our legs off mat, basically out to our right-hand corner. Hands are going to come down to the ground facing the front of our mat, and we're going to swing onto our bellies. You can basically push yourself through a chaturanga. And we'll do our Pidgey on the other side. I always feel like, Tracy, you have plenty of time. And then I look and I'm like, fuck, it's been 50 minutes. Whew. So again, you're in your pigeon or you're in your deer. And deer pose is like one of my favorites. I can like really, I've fallen asleep in deer pose a few times. But also I'm made of doll parts, so. Just comfortable places that are odd and strange are where I like to find myself. We got 4 more breaths. Okay, let's bring you all the way back up. If you're in your deer, stay. We'll meet you there. So we're in our double stag, hand to the side or forearm down. We'll lift up our right leg into our attitude. So I really want you to squeeze that behind back behind you. Think about knees slightly higher than the ankle. Pull it forwards and push it back. Feel the butt contract on its way back. Maybe you go, no hands for your full pretzel hellscape. 5, 4, 3, 2, keep it back on 1. That is obliques, little lifts. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knee together. Let that swing you to the front. And we're going to do the other side. So Janu, level 1. This is still very difficult, so I don't want you to think, level, no. This is hard. A lot of people don't have this level of fold. So wherever you're at is awesome. If you worked with the half lotus position, you've got some high-level knee flexion, some high-level ankle flexion, and supination. And then you're working forwards. For my crazy peoples in the house that want to go all the way, right leg bends, left knee points down to the ground. Oof. Body comes through the hole. You wrap around and try to bring the crown of your head onto the earth. Last 2 breaths. Ooh, y'all. Oh, that left foot. Oh my God. Wow. That is very intense. All right. So we're going to do that weird loopy way to get onto our tummies again, if possible. Again, you can do your own method. But I'll point my legs off to the side, hands forward. And push yourself through and down to downward facing dog. Now our final release we're going to do, and then we're all done, I promise, is we're going to do our quad openers. And again, I'm going to give you 2 different ways you can do this. Nice big wide step, lots of padding under the knee, maybe block underhand, especially if ye be tight, and just practice bending this knee, reaching around, and finding the quad, okay? Boom, 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 boom. You can go all the way down. If you're feeling like you want to try something different, I'm going to show you the wall release. So it's 90 degrees, it's hard angles, it's less forgiving because physics. So you'll walk the shin bone all the way up against the wall. Again, I recommend having some padding, especially if you're on a hardwood floor like me. Right foot takes a step forward. Boom, you're here. Now, if you really feel like trying something different, I like to straighten through my right leg. And essentially, my left heel and my butt cheek are touching. So whichever version of this release you're in, I mean, there's a million and one ways, but this is intense. So I want you to be safe. Safe and play with your own boundaries a little bit. Because sometimes we surprise ourselves, right? This is also a really great thing to do if you're trying to work on your splits. Because a lot of times our hamstrings, everybody thinks, oh, I have tight hamstrings. I don't know if I can do it, but it's a lot about your hip flexors too. So this is all part of the recipe. So in whichever variation, whether you're doing the one on the ground, maybe you don't have wall space, or if you're on the wall, we got 3 more breaths. Oh. And not just your all right, let's get ourselves out of here. So if you're on the ground, you can step back to down dog and then switch sides. So you would step your left foot forward. Again, you can go up on your block, especially if you're tight. I really recommend that. But if you're playing with the wall, right knee goes in the saddle. Oh, left foot steps forward. Oh, God. Fuck me. Ooh. In these last moments, bring yourself back into really intimate awareness of your breath. Again, your breath, the tension in your muscles were all designed to protect you. They're doing their job if they're tensing. But we, as body movers, get to dictate that a little bit and ask of our body to forgive those reactions to build maybe a little more space for us. So if anything is learned today, perhaps the lesson is, wow, my body really likes protecting me. How cool is that? Thanks, body. I know you're just doing your job. All right, let's get you out of there. Ooh, I am feeling tingles. if you were on the wall, take yourself just to this like seated position. If you were doing that big wide position, maybe you go into downward facing dog. Just do a shape that takes the flexion out of your knees. And then I want you to find the last shape you want to take today, whether that's a seated position or a laying down position. And sometimes laying down, I know everybody says lay on your back, but for people with trauma, sometimes that feels a little too open and it feels safer to lay on your side or stomach down. So find a shape that feels safe for you. We'll spend 3 more minutes here. If you've got some busy thoughts, think of those busy thoughts as clouds just passing by, and you're just watching them pass. Wherever you're at, take some deeper breaths. Maybe get a little wiggly. Maybe you need to stretch yourself out and wake yourself back up again. And I just want to thank all of you for starting your weekend with me. Thank you. And I want you to thank yourself too, because sometimes we don't necessarily want to do this stuff, but we show up for ourselves. And so thanks for showing up for yourself today. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I hope you do some awesome things. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Franny. Thanks, Mimi. Woo! I love that, Ella. I'm like, I want to come take class. Emma, I love popping your bubbles. Yay! Yeah, have fun, Ashley, in Yosemite. I'm a little jealous. Yes, Jane. Maybe I'll do this again. I felt like enough people came for like a random pop-up, so maybe Kamar will have more Saturday work days and we can do one of these early guys. You're welcome, Daddy. That nice. Thanks, Alex Tangle. Is that lumpy space princess as your profile pic? I really hope it is. Yay. Yeah, I felt like um, there was a long time where I was just so averse to weekend classes because I worked on weekends for so long, and now I'm like, I don't care. Oh my glob. Yeah, plus I'm like, I like recording stuff, but live is so much better. It's so good because we get to talk. Where is baby? I'm going to go get the baby because this is also what we do. Pie. Pie, your fans, they want to see you. I hope you all heard that. Oh. Yeah, Pie, this is what we do. We get to hang out, all of us together. We get to hang out. And we get to show off our animals. Except not like on Zoom. This is different. This is just me showing off this large baby. Look at that. What is she? Why are you so sweet? Why you let me do everything to you? Yeah, come for yoga, stay for pie. That's right. You hear that? They won't stay for you. Big baby. Oh, yeah. We love you, Pie. Good start to the weekend, baby. You done good. So what are you guys doing today? I think I'm gonna make food. I know I've got like another private, and then I found like these. It's so great. It's so great. The South is a wonderful place. This like farmer's market near me, they had these like giant bags of avocados, like 2 for $7. So I think I'm gonna make a giant vat of guacamole, and I'm gonna make steak tacos, and I'm gonna make the tortillas. If you guys don't make your own tortillas, I know it's a bitch, but it's so worth it and it tastes so good. It's just flour, shortening, salt, water, and you just, and then you throw it on the thing, and then you got tortillas. Dusty, I just read your text message. Little panty snackers. Ooh, Tegan, did you move? You're like, yes, we unpack in our new house, obviously. How fun. Congrats on the new house. Especially when you move, it's important to give yourself some good food. Ooh, Dusty, yes. Yes. Yeah, I saw this guy on TikTok making flavored tortillas and I was like, duh, like why am I why have I not made flavored tortillas yet? There's this taco spot near us and we tried it and I feel like a little elitist piece of California shit, but it was not my favorite because they like you know in like birria tacos where they like basically fry it on top of cheese, but they did it with Parmesan, and I did not like that. So yes, I use a cast iron. But you have to get the heat right because those cast irons just retain heat. Yeah, to me it was a food crime for sure. Um, but I was really stoked. I found this new pizza spot near me that's owned by this guy that's from Puerto Vallarta, and he made a birria pizza, and he nailed it. Like that shit was so good. It was so good. So I'm really stoked because I was like, because I mean, the Cuban food out here, the Puerto Rican food out here is bomb, but it's different. Mexican food is different. Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. We're stoked. We're stoked that we found a cool pizza spot. All right, y'all. I love you. And I'm going to make some little bit of breakfast before I teach some privates. And I hope I get to see you guys soon. Next Friday night, again, I'm going to teach bar and we have some other fun classes, but I'm going to keep throwing out these Saturdays. So thanks for being down for the last minute class, and I'll see y'all next time. Love you. Thanks for starting my day. I feel so good. Aurora, thank you. All of you that are commenting, thank you. Yes, Alex, you're welcome. Angela, you're welcome. And I'll see you all next time. Bye, Ashley.